Hey Rick, how are you?
Good. How's it been going?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. So what's happening?
Well, I've been going out to schools lately, and working with some kids, and I just have some questions in regards of reinforcement.
Okay.
That I've seen that's kind of been a problem.
Okay.
So I just want to kind of see, like some of our students that we work with, what if they're like not engaging in anything? What if they don't like anything?
Any reinforcement?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's certainly not an uncommon statement.
Okay.
But look, like I've certainly heard that a million times. That some kids have no reinforcement. But it's not the case that kids don't have reinforcement. It's more that they're just elusive in what they like and they dislike. Okay, so a lot of times you can kind of watch really carefully what a kid does just on their own. Okay, some kids maybe like to kind of drop things or take buckets of things and drop them over, stuff like that. So what you want to do is really look carefully at kind of what do they do on their own, and then you think about, okay, are there certain games that have that element to it? Okay, so like sometimes you'll see a kid that has a box of blocks, for example, and they love to just continuously dump them over, and you scoop them up and you throw them back in the box, boom, again, and they dump them over, right? So they like to watch things fall down, right? So you got to think, is there certain games where you watch things fall down? Kerplunk.
Yeah.
You got the sticks that go for it, so you got the marbles sitting on top, you pull the sticks out and they fall and run. Right. Or you can make up your own games.
Okay.
Right? You get a bucket of balls, and you teach the kid that you can earn it, the bucket, and then you dump it out. Or maybe something like a sandbox or something like that, where you take cups of things or a water box or something like that, and you have the cups so the idea is this: you have to kind of look. You have to be an investigator, essentially.
Okay.
You have to just look really closely at what they're doing, and then you can start kind of gleaning out, well, he likes these kind of things, and then you just experiment. You create some games that have that element to it and see if they gravitate to it. And 9 times out of 10, I've found that you open up a whole vast array of reinforcement.
Okay. Yeah, because that kind of goes into my next question. It's like a lot of times when I'm working with a kid, they like something like one time, and then the next day it's like, oh my God, they're not even interested. So that's something I'm kind of wondering about too.
Yeah, look, and certainly that phenomenon exists. Some kids just they really like something intensely for a very short amount of time, and then they move on to something else.
Oh, okay.
And look, I think we know people like that too. They like one kind of food, and then they eat it one day, and then they don't want to have it for another month. So some people rapidly transition through reinforcers, but I bet you could kind of think, what does that mean, right? If I have very few reinforcers, and they rapidly burn out, what do you think is the answer to that? You got to have what?
Other reinforcers.
Tons and tons of reinforcers.
Yeah.
So that's really the only answer to that question, is if you do have kids. And look, there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
Some kids just burn out really quick on things. But what that means is the way you balance that equation out is that you have to have gobs and gobs and gobs of reinforcers.
Okay.
And maybe what you do too under that condition is you don't allow kids to have the reinforcer 2 times in a row.
Okay.
Maybe you force a rotation of selection of reinforcers, so you're minimizing the potential that they burn out really quickly anyways. So let's say I have 10 reinforcers, right? After the kids earn their break, I only let them select 3. Okay, out of the 10.
Gotcha.
Okay, and then on the next round, when they cash out, I take that one that they just played without as an option, and I replace it with one of the other ones. Okay, so it puts it on a rotation, so they're not seeing it again for a little while. So when it comes back as an option, it's fresher. You know, so that could be
And
another.
more powerful.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
They're just seeing it less often, so it's going to have less potential for burnout.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Something else that's been, I've had a question about is a lot of times when I'm playing with a kid, they don't like age appropriate stuff. I mean, I'm like, okay, well, I can give them something that's kind of not age appropriate, but basically, why can't I use Barney and Elmo for a kid who's 10, 11 years old, basically?
Yeah. But there's probably two questions in that.
Mm-hmm.
One is, why don't I allow kids to play things that are like horribly inappropriate, age inappropriate? Like a high schooler watching Barney videos. Okay, so that's one question. The other question is, how do I get them off that stuff? Okay, so let's go with the first question: is why is it inappropriate?
Right.
Now, look, we know our guys that we work with have a horrible time establishing friendships. Okay, now there's no greater way. Well, there may be greater ways, but one of the greatest ways to eliminate potential friendships is to be into things that are not cool. Right?
Yeah.
And certainly in high school, for the most part, Barney is not cool.
Right.
Okay? So we need to be careful about what we use as reinforcers in kind of age-appropriate land, because we want kids to enjoy stuff that's going to also help them have other relationships. Okay? But look, and that leads to the second question about what do we do? So if let's say a high school kid is really into Barney, what about Barney is interesting to that student, right? Is it the colors? Is it the dancing? Is it the kind of what do you call it? The animated quality of the video? Because the scenes in the background are not real; they're more staged, right? They're almost like cartoony-ish, right? Is it that kind of thing that the kid's into? The dancing, maybe. So what we need to do is really be analytical and figure out, okay, what's the quality of this that's they're really into, and then there's more age-appropriate stuff that has that kind of stuff. Like that show, the teenage show with all the music. What is it called? High School Musical, right? High School Musical or Glee, right? That's another one, right? So what we need to do is promote those as alternatives and reinforce the heck out of it, right? So we may need to take some time, not work related, right? And we're just going to take 20 minutes and we're going to watch some Glee, and we're going to get out the popcorn, and we're going to get out the sodas, and we're going to get out the candy bars, right? And we're going to associate a lot of fun with watching these shows that are more age appropriate, but also pretty close to what they were into anyways.
So also what you're saying, so say like if the kid just, let's say, likes dinosaurs, maybe give him more age appropriate dinosaurs than Barney.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Beautiful.
Park or
Jurassic Park. Great one.
Tyrannosaurus Rex or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
Or there's documentaries with, animated dinosaur stuff, so we search for a bunch of those,
Okay, got it.
and then we make it a party.
Okay.
We're gonna watch it, no work. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna have a pizza party or a popcorn party, and we're gonna make it really fun.
Yeah.
And build a lot of reinforcement around it.
Okay.
And believe me, I can't think of a time when we didn't do that the kids actually didn't give up on the age inappropriate stuff and get more into the new stuff, because it's new.
Yeah.
Most likely they've watched the Barney video 5 million times, so it's kind of old anyways.
Right.
So it tends not to be horribly difficult to get them off it.
Okay.